Tell me why in 2026 we are still oppressed as much as we are with women reporting abuse. That might have to do with the fact that, yes, there are some women that abuse that, which makes it hard for women like myself going through abuse, psychological torture and torment, physical assault. Like, abuse is more than bruises. And in this world, as much knowledge that is out there about this, they still oppress women and blame women and say, just leave. Do you know that 56% of women that are in abusive situations that just leave end up homeless or drug addicted? Did you know that there are programs out here, supposed to be, that we have that they have millions of grant dollars for? There is a Violence Against Women Act of 1994 that gives you a voucher, an emergency protection. You have protections and rights as a victim of abuse, but the system still oppresses us. People still say, if it's that bad, just leave. Not everyone has the means or ability or support to just fucking leave. Not everyone has. Narcissistic abuse is very serious. They isolate you from anything and everyone, and then they form smear campaigns and cause groups of people to come against you on lies and manipulation. Why is it that I just left with my son's father after 13 years of supporting him and my son and myself, dealing with psychological, emotional, and mental, emotional fucking torture and torment every single fucking day, physical assaults, breaking you down mentally, emotionally, psychologically, tearing you down to the point I tried to kill myself 17 fucking times in 13 years. I hid the abuse with my son's father because I loved him and didn't want people to see him in a bad light. I wanted to protect my family. But I didn't want to do him messed up. So when I was done dealing with it, I left to get my mind right. That is how I ended up homeless. Because instead of leaving my apartment that he was in, mine and my son's, he was on the lease, but instead of leaving mine and my son's apartment, going to his mother's, because he had family, I don't, both of my parents are deceased, he decides to lose my apartment because I don't want to be with him no more. I end up losing everything I own. We had joint custody. As a good mother, I let my son go with his father to his mother's house because where I was not a stable situation for a child who has sensory problems like my son does. That was used against me in juvenile court when he went and lied on me, when he went and manipulated the court system. I have been bullied, gaslit, lied on my entire life. And when I go to tell the truth, they have people to corroborate their stories because it's bullshit. And they get other people who have done me fucked up to conspire with them so that they don't know the truth about shit that's happened. If you just leave, and everybody says just leave if it's that bad. Yes, it is that bad. But I do not have the means to just leave. And just being emotional and just leaving everything I own, going to a shelter here, I did that once. Actually, twice. The first time I went to a hotel because I had money. I was robbed. I was held hostage for 2 fucking days, which I think he had done. I come back. The second time I left, I went to a shelter. I was threatened, harassed. He told me I was going to go missing. Told me I was going to be human trafficked. All kinds of shit, which I've already been, but he meant like go missing, being alive, go missing, that type of thing. I have proof of that. He sent me $4 to come back. I come back. Why is it that people can't, you have to have endless amounts of proof. You have to fight and fight and fight for justice, for grant money, for assistance, for help, for protections. But these men are getting away with railroading us, abusing us to the point we have nervous breakdowns, forcing us homeless, destitute, because most of the times in these narcissistic situations, you're abused financially too. And everyone says, if it's that bad, just leave. If it's that bad, just go. If it's that bad, get help. I've been trying to get help. I've been reached out to anyone and everyone. I've reached out to the Human Trafficking Coalition. I've reached out to domestic violence shelters and places. I've reached out to the FBI. I've reached out to police departments. This is absolutely insane. And still I'm met with, just leave everything and just go. Why not hold these motherfuckers accountable? Why is it that women have to lose everything they own? Why is it that we have to be put in harder positions? Why is it that we are not believed and helped the first time we report shit when there is a whole act for that? Because I tell you why. Because the system, the world today, it still oppresses women. And then you have these evil, narcissistic men. Most of them are red pill culture. They say women abuse, women get men locked up for no reason, which does happen. But that don't mean that it's all like that. Today's age is very, like he goes on about it all the time. When I've sat here and watched him watch YouTubes on how to get out of domestic situations, he's manipulative as fuck. And I'm telling you, like, the police, the world needs more education on narcissistic abuse and trauma and people and victims. Reactive abuse, Darvo tactics, coercive control. As much knowledge that is out there, as much people that are speaking up against this, we still have to fight tooth and fucking nail. We're abused financially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, intimidated, threatened, harassed by people they know. put through hell time and time and time again for telling the fucking truth. Trying to shut us up, trying to silence us. When the system is made for justice. There is rights and orders and protections and all kinds of things for women who are abused. But I'm having to fight tooth and fucking nail, tooth and fucking nail, tooth and fucking nail. All because people conspire together and lie on me. Because my abusers, and that's with the S, that's my son's father and his family, and this current situation and his family and friends. People that I thought I could trust, helping my son's father, lying, manipulating the situations. The amount of trauma. And then it's like every time you speak out, it gets worse. Every time you speak out, it gets worse. And they try to beat you down into a corner so that you just stop speaking. So you stop telling the truth. Because if anyone was to believe the shit you're saying, then they get painted in a bad light. And narcissists' whole thing is their image. They have to keep their image, because really, if anyone wants to know the truth, and I still am, these men, these red pill men, these narcissistic men and narcissistic women, they know, they're very smart. In dark psychology, most of them study the 48 laws of power. They're very intelligent and manipulative. And it's like, I'm so sick of people telling a victim, why don't you just leave? Just leave. Just go. Just leave. No. Because the last time I just left, my whole life was destroyed. And I can't afford any other trauma. Because I am traumatized already. So I'm going to fight this time. I'm going to tell the truth. I know my rights, and that's just the bottom line. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be intimidated. I am terrified. I am fucking terrified, okay? But the situation I'm in right now, those who are not in Orlando is very dangerous, baby. It's not Knoxville. The streets out here on an everyday basis. People are crazy, they're insane, and this motherfucker and his family knows everybody. It's safer for me to stay in this apartment until my advocate can help me with relocation funds. And that's just that. These apartments are across from the sheriff's department. They're across from the FBI and the Greyhound station. It is not safe for me at a shelter. I've been to a shelter once before. And there's some dark shit going on. Girls, they're telling me that girls that don't have family or not from here or can't speak English go missing. They never come back if they leave. it's just not a safe place for me. They say it's safe, but it's not. Not in my situation, it's not. Because he knows too many people. Like last time, he knew girls that were in the actual shelter, domestic violence shelter, with me. It's safer for me to stay in this apartment, like I've been doing. I'm terrified to leave. I am not safe. But I'm safer here than anywhere out there. These apartments are gated. They have cameras. And it is across from the FBI and the sheriff's department and the bus station. Now that he is no longer going to be in this apartment, it's safer for me to stay in this apartment unless I absolutely have to go somewhere and come back until I leave Orlando. Even when I leave Orlando, I am not safe because he knows people everywhere. Even when I get on the bus and I leave town, the bus stops in Atlanta before it gets to Knoxville. He knows people in Atlanta and Knoxville. I'm not safe. But I'm safer here than I ever would be anywhere out there in the streets of Florida, anywhere. I'm going to stay here until I've been researching. I know that they owe me that because I'm in extreme danger. They will give me emergency relocation funds. When I get those funds, I will be using that to get a ride or get a bus as soon as I get them. But until then, I'm disabled. I can't work and been financially abused to the point where I have nothing. So I have to stay here until I'm able to leave. I'm terrified. And I have to tell you, I am absolutely fucking terrified because he told me he will kill me. And my phone will go missing. And they will never find my fucking body. Yeah, but I'm safer in this apartment than I am going to a shelter or anywhere out in the streets of Orlando. I want to have to push myself Monday to go to the courthouse to file an injunction against him and his mother and come back. I am working on getting out of Orlando with an advocate. And when I get back to Knoxville, I have resources in place to help me file protection orders there and to get the help and assistance that I need. Until then, I won't be leaving this apartment. Unless I absolutely have to. I was already threatened this morning by the neighbor who says I'm a dead bitch walking. It's all shit that his family has said to me, that he has said to me multiple times. But I have to keep, I can't be intimidated or threatened this time. Even though I'm scared to fucking death. The state attorney, my advocate, the state attorney, the supervisor, the corporal told me anytime that anyone harasses me, intimidates me, says anything, threatens my life because of him going to jail for putting his hands on me, to report it, because that's intimidation and that's harassment. It will be added to his case. And it's that simple. I can't, I'm disabled physically and mentally. I'm traumatized. I have heart problems now because of the stress that I'm under. But I have to fight. Even though I have everyone, it feels like, around me coming down on me and no real support, at least here, I have to keep fighting, because the ultimate goal is to get back to my son. And I cannot allow bullies, abusers to intimidate me. Now, I hate that I had to go this route with the police and everything, because I would have much rather not. But I reached out to his friends, to family, to my friends, to my family. I got no help. None. So I have to do what I have to do to protect myself. And I don't care how anyone feels about that at all. And if people have threatened to shoot me in the head on my way to the Greyhound station, told me I won't make it to the Greyhound station. If anything happens to me, it is a direct result because him, his mom, his cousin, and people he knew had it done. Period. They had it done. If I am unalived, if I'm injured, if I go missing, it is because him, his mom, or his cousin, or someone he knows had it done. Period.